Surprise! By May Fairfax. Kirsten was full of hope as she walked to school that day. She hoped her plan would work in every way. Kirsten was a strong-hearted, red-haired girl, and she loved school, especially because of her teacher, Miss Jones. Another perk of school was that she did not have to do the sewing work her mom always had her do, for it was many long years ago, way back to the time that at home boys learned to build with wood and girls learned to sew, but both went to school. Beforehand, she had told everybody to come early for a surprise plan. She walked into the classroom. It was small but comfy, with a desk, flag, and a giant blackboard in front. The rest was all desks. Kirsten stood in front of the class and stated her plan. Her plan was to make the room look and feel festive for Mrs. Jones' birthday by putting happy birthdays on the blackboard, presents, etc. Alas, immediately, 4 kids are having trouble seeing the worth in Kirsten's plan. Again, the usuals. Harry, Anne, Johnny, and Jamie. Fierce arguments break out. Anne is so enraged that her hair is quickly becoming as messy as a lion's mane because she is whipping it around. Kirsten argues, "Miss Jones is so kind," but Anne argues, "Miss Jones gives us so much homework." Finally, Kirsten says, "Anne, you know how it is. If it weren't for school, well, you'd be stuck home sewing." Anne thinks, "I am so clumsy with my hands, and I detest sewing. School is so much better." Then they all give in, for they don't like homework. While all this was going on, the clock was ticking. Kirsten wished it would stop. 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2. There was only 1 minute left! Oh no! Hurry, scurry, time's ticking. Chalk, erasers, lunches, all go flying. There's no time to clean up, though. The room smells like chalk, and the erasers have an intolerable enough smell that they have to get down the big squirt bottle of cleaner and use it on the extremely gross erasers to make the odor go down. Miss Jones' footsteps are being reported. She's coming down the hall. Definitely no time to clean up, even if there was a speck of hope for that before. They run to their desks, smashing chalk to smithereens along the way. The chalk looks strange on their freshly polished shoes, and the room echoes with the awful crunching of the smashing chalk, mixed with extremely confused voices in the hallway. Dylan winds up with an eraser on his head. Kirsten is thrilled. The whiteboard multiplication problems are almost invisible because of the freshly written happy birthdays. The room feels so festive. Mrs. Jones is talking to someone in the hall, commenting on the racket coming from the classroom. Mrs. Jones' voice sounds as confused as a forest hawk on open prairies. Who could it be? Then Kirsten asks the question that still haunts them all. Is this okay? They can hear the bell ringing and the door unbearably slowly creaking open. Mrs. Jones' foot appears, then her leg, next her body, and finally her head, so she is fully visible. She's scowling about the noise, but her scowl quickly turns it to a flabbergasted smile. For a few seconds, she is just in joyful shock and awe. She never knew how much she appreciated them, or they appreciated her. There feels like there's a wave of gratitude for each other washing over the room. Then Kirsten comes up and says, "Thank you for all you have done for us. We really appreciate you for all your generosity. We appreciate you as a teacher, and we appreciate you for who you are." Then cheers erupt from the classroom. They are as loud as a herd of elephants. Even the reluctant ones join in. Mrs. Jones is amazed at in how little time they could create such a lasting impression. Kirsten feels like she made the right decision to persuade everyone to go along with her plan, because the feeling she is experiencing right now is unforgettable. She never thought how much happiness could come in one small act of kindness. Mrs. Jones tells the other person in the hallway she could go now, as it turned out to be the principal, coming to investigate the noise source. Then Mrs. Jones starts laughing and crying with joy at the same time. Everybody else starts laughing with joy. And to this day, That one exhilaratingly meaningful morning is still rumored about by the great ancestors of Kirsten and her gang. As Kirsten later said, that was the happiest day of my life. The end. Thank you to Norman Rockwell for his picture, and Miss Malik for showing me the way.